So you've done a lot of research about space, so I think that you'd be very familiar with. My next question is about Operation Paperclip. After World War II, we brought the top scientists, Wernher von Braun being one of them, over to America to create our space program, NASA. He was best friends with Walt Disney. And then he was able to go to the moon in 1969 and 1972, 6 different trips through backwards and forwards through the Van Allen radiation belt 12 times with technology that they accidentally destroyed. So my question for you is, do you think that the moon landing was real, and do you think that it was done by Nazis that were literally brought over during Operation Paperclip? Is that a conspiracy, or is that true in your opinion, Tucker?
I don't know. I do know that the original moon landing tapes have been erased at NASA because they needed, the tape space, so they just kind of taped over them. That's the official.
That's the official, Tucker. That's the official story. Is they taped over, and official story is that they lost the technology, and it's a painful process to build it back again. Yet Elon Musk's own rockets can't go. The moon is 257,000 miles away. Elon Musk's rocket busted at less than 90 miles away. So we don't have a space vehicle in the past 50 years that can even go 257,000th or whatever it is, the distance that the Apollo rockets went. So it's very unusual to think that the technology in 1969 somehow got deleted and that it went backwards. So I think that's why the moon landing I'm very passionate about. I think it's a big lie.
Well, I don't look. I've seen so many things that I believe revealed as lies in the past 5 or 6 years, and I've been shocked on almost a daily basis. And I'm much older than you, so I grew up in a country where people sort of believed things, including their government, which clearly had the capacity to do bad things. But most of the time, we felt living here that it was doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And I've revised my view of that because I've had to. So I'm open-minded on it. I will say, the one counter argument I would make, so my friend Darren Beatty, I don't know if you know him, he's a really smart guy, runs Revolver News. Yeah, I love Darren. He's always making the obvious point that this was transistor radio technology. We now have AI, but we can't get to the moon. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Fair.
This is Future Minor, so Tucker Carlson is once again speaking on some interesting things about the shape of the Earth and related topics. So I first did a report on Tucker Carlson speaking on the shape of the Earth some months ago. And so I'll probably leave a link if you haven't seen that video where Tucker Carlson is talking about that he's open to the idea about the shape of the Earth if he had the evidence available to him, so he didn't outright dismiss the idea of flat Earth. So now Tucker Carlson was recently on the Alex Stein show. So Alex Stein, he actually started off with his roots in speaking on stuff like this with the Modern Day Debate channel. So Alex Stein was debating topics like flat Earth and the moon landings. And Alex Stein was basically on the side of flat Earth and on the side of saying that we never went to the moon. So he would challenge people and, have a 2-hour-long debate about topics like that. But then he ended up getting picked up by Glenn Beck, and he went mainstream since then. So Alex Stein is actually on Blaze TV now, which I believe is Glenn Beck's channel. And so he's pretty mainstream now, and he hasn't really talked too much about these topics anymore. But, it's good that he's still actually bringing up these topics now, because just recently he was doing an interview with Tucker Carlson where he actually brought up about how if, the moon trips actually happened. The debate started off talking about, well, it wasn't a debate, but it was more of a conversation. And it started off with Alex Stein asking Tucker Carlson about what he believes about alien life and ETs and stuff like that, and if it's real or if it's a psyop. Tucker Carlson agreed with Alex Stein that the alien thing could be kind of like a psyop with blue beam technology and stuff like that, but it also could have some real elements to it. And it says that basically there could be something real to the whole thing as well. I kind of agree with that. I mean, Tucker Carlson basically said he doesn't believe that these beings would be from necessarily outer space. Well, he called them extraterrestrials, but I see what he was saying. So he was saying, yeah, he doesn't necessarily think they have to be from outer space. But he says, yeah, there could be some non-humans, flying around in the air, maybe with technology. And it's a big mystery, and it's pretty dark. So yeah, I mean, I've covered this subject in detail, and I have some playlists on that as well with my thoughts on what aliens actually are. I believe they are connected to the fallen ones, and there could be something to it. But then this is where the conversation shifted to talk about the moon landing. So Alex Stein was basically saying, well, that's a perfect segue to get into how NASA started with Operation Paperclip. And he was telling Tucker Carlson how is it possible that the space program was able to make it through the Van Allen radiation belts. And basically, if he thinks that they actually went to the moon, and with the sketchy origin, like I said, with the Operation Paperclip and all that. So Tucker Carlson, yeah, he pretty much admitted that the moon data was lost. He thinks that's very suspicious. And who wouldn't really, I mean, you don't lose data like that. You don't tape over the telemetry data. You don't tape over that stuff. That's supposed to be a historic piece of evidence that they went to the moon, right? So why would you be so careless with that type of data and tape over it? So Tucker Carlson admitted, yeah, that was very suspicious. And so Tucker Carlson was also admitting that, yeah, so we basically have all of this new technology like AI technology and all this advanced technology here on this earth, but yet we can't recreate the technology to get back to the moon. So yeah, that's another very suspicious thing. Anyone that's paying attention should think about this stuff and say, hey, yeah, this is very suspicious. When people haven't looked into this information, when they don't even know this type of stuff. People just say, oh, well, we went to the moon because we learned that in school and we saw it on TV. So they don't do any research on the subject. And so they're not aware of all of this extra information that you can look into and figure out that, yeah, this is very suspicious. Why wouldn't we have the technology to get back to the moon? If they had it in the 60s, why can't we have that technology now? Why did they lose the technology? So this is very interesting that, yeah, so it's Alex Stein. He's now in the mainstream and he's able to bring up topics like these, on the mainstream. I mean, Blaze TV isn't exactly mainstream like that. It's kind of mainstream because it's Glenn Beck behind it. From what I understand, Glenn Beck's behind the Blaze TV thing. So it's kind of on a higher platform. It's, with a well-known journalist like Glenn Beck, who used to be on Fox News. So this is, he's getting high profile guests on the show. And yeah, Alex Stein is part of the fold. He got into this whole thing when he was doing those weird little, town hall, city council, interruptions where he'd go up there and, he'd make jokes and make a big scene, doing those city council appearances. And Glenn Beck picked up on that and brought him onto the show. And from there, he's been kind of all over the place in the mainstream. So yeah, Alex Stein has really came into his own since then. But like I said, he hasn't really talked too much about things like the shape of the earth and the moon landings and stuff. But that's where his roots are. That's where he started off debating. And so it's good to see him going back to these types of discussions, and especially with high profile guests like Tucker Carlson, one of the most famous journalists out there right now. Even though he got fired from Fox, he hasn't slowed down one bit. He actually it looks like he almost got more famous since then. So they thought they were going to, stop him and shut him down by removing him off the mainstream platforms. But no, he went to alternative platforms and has taken off since then. And people are seeing, yeah, when you try to shut someone up, maybe we should try to see what they have to say, So yeah, Tucker Carlson, he seems to be kind of aware of things like this. I mean, he's kind of in the loop. Like, it seems like he knows a little more than he's willing to admit he knows, I believe. I mean, this is was a very interesting discussion. I'll probably leave a link to the discussion in the comment section and description box if you want to check it out. It was like a 5-minute video or so, maybe 7 or something. So go to the description box and comment section and check the links. I also leave links to related videos on this subject. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. I'm also going to leave links to my other channels, my social media, my Feed Your Mind store, my free email newsletters, and much more. If you would like to support this channel, please donate as little as $1 to help keep this channel online. So thanks for tuning in. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. This has been Feed Your Mind, signing off.